Welcome back to another edition of Reality Check, your weekly deep dive into all things unscripted television. This week unofficially sponsored by Melinda Doolittle's Never Giving Up and Jamar Rogers' Drink of You, two songs in constant rotation on my iPod right now. Speaking of Melinda Doolittle, here she is, the season 6 American Idol standout. We're here to talk about The Voice, in depth, the knockout rounds.
I hope there's pudding.
We are almost on the cusp of the live shows, and I've got to say, there were a few contestants this week that surprised me, and one of those people was Jackie Lee.
I'm singing Stompa by Serena Ryder.
Not like a huge radio hit that everyone knows, or I don't think it is. I don't really listen to the radio that much. Confession, but I don't think it's that huge of a hit. And when she was like, I'm singing Stompa, I was like, that is my jam.
You don't even need to try.
That is such a cool choice. It kind of says what kind of an artist she wants to be, and then she just slayed it.
All the pain that you feel, I can prove it's not real.
The kid she was up against, that poor Anthony Paul, his performance was sort of like me in middle school with like my voice changing. It was just like,
Tonight, take me to the other side.
but she really, I thought she was remarkably good, cool, polished. She's like a 16-year-old cute teenage kid.
You're like the cutest person I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
But she's got a sense of cool about her that like an old man like me can sort of be like, yes, I might actually buy this girl's music someday.
That was slightly creepy, but yes, yes, she is fabulous.
Oh God, me and Blake.
And I specialize in 16-year-old girls.
You've got to just be careful. Anytime you start a sentence with 16-year-old girl, you just have to like really watch what you say.
Pretty much leave yourself out of it after that point. That's all you have to do. But I did love her tone. I mean, it was amazing. She had points for me from the get-go when she made Carson Daly say the word Stompa, because that just kind of made my night.
With Stompa, here is Jackie Lee.
Kudos, Jackie. Thank you for that.
I've got to just move on from this, this subject. Who surprised you in a good way this week?
I think I need to give it to Stephanie Ann. I didn't know what to expect when she brought her guitar out.
The artist I want to be is closer to Bonnie Raitt.
But she nailed it. Her tone, like the little lilting things that she did when she'd just go up really lightly and then come back down.
Left you by the house of fun.
And played so beautifully that for me, she actually won that round. I didn't even understand the judges that weren't able to connect with what she was doing.
It just felt a little bit too unfocused. And so it lost me a little bit.
Do you not get her because she's a black woman with an acoustic guitar? Is that like too much for you to handle?
Yeah, I think it may have been. I think that they were being very literal in that moment.
What is she doing there?
But I love Tamara too. Like, I loved what she brought to No One.
But all I know is everything's gonna be alright.
I'm really excited that both of these women took a risk and it paid off. Both of them have advanced to the live shows. I want to see more of that on The Voice. I don't want to just always see the singer pick exactly the song we expect them to sing and sing it in the exact arrangement we expect. Sometimes it doesn't pay off, but risk-taking should be rewarded, and in this case it was. I've got to say, the one other singer this week that kind of surprised me, kind of came out of nowhere, was Shelby Z.
What are you going to do with the stage? You going to work it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And she got me with the sort of like little hip sway on Hit the Dance
That
Floor.
body roll, listen here, Shelby Z. That body roll was everything.
I met a guy on the dance floor, and I let him call me baby.
I threw my hands up in the air the second she was like, bam, bam. I love it.
I met a guy on the dance floor.
I think sometimes when singers are going for those big notes and that huge range, that they sometimes forget to have fun with it and sort of be a little sassy with it. She never lost that sass. I was concerned that she was going to lose the battle because she was in against Kaylee Cuoco's sister. I just assumed Kaylee Cuoco's sister was like making it all the way to the live rounds just based on that. And her Don't Speak was, you know, I don't want to kick someone when they're down, but like,
I gotta stop pretending who we are.
Shelby kind of wiped the mother-father floor with this. Not to throw in a Fergie reference, but she did, and I was worried about the outcome.
It's another thing when somebody just flat out outsings the other.
Speaking of Blake's team and bad song choices and things not working out the way you want them to, we've got to talk for a second about Holly Henry. A lot of people were really upset that Blake cut her before the live shows, but I have to say, I think he did the right thing. I felt like her performance of Creep was what's the word I'm looking for? Cataclysmic, disastrous, I don't know.
I loved her blind audition, I really did. And I had high hopes for her. But when they kind of montaged her battle round, I thought, that might not have gone as well. And then Adam brought it up.
I thought I was going to be more interested in stealing Holly because she had a great blind, and then she's been a little shaky ever since.
I feel like she's like trying to step outside of what her voice does so naturally and so beautifully and be what she thinks other people want her to be. And all we want her to be is the Holly Henry we saw at the blind auditions, that nice, quiet, gorgeous tone. That's all that we ask.
All right, look, Melinda, I know you're always right, especially this season on The Voice, because we've got to talk about the absolute best performances this week, and I've got to give it to Caroline Pinnell.
Who else?
Hello, everyone.
She might be a wizard. Like, she might be a literal wizard. I don't think she's a muggle.
Something a little different.
She does magic. She's like, expecto, something. There's like fairy dust trailing her nose. It's insanity.
Pure honey that turns into gold.
I love you more than I could ever promise.
It is the most gorgeous sound, and her little hand that's always like right here next to her face, just, ooh.
It's like a hummingbird goes, and then it like turns into a hawk, and then it turns back into a hummingbird.
Yes.
We fly, of course.
See, listen, Caroline, we love you.
You take me the way I am.
Look, I know it's very early in the season. We haven't gotten to the live voting rounds. A lot can happen between now and then, but it's very hard for me to visualize that final three without her.
That's nice.
The other two people who kind of killed it this week were going head to head, and that's Matthew Schuler and Will Champlin. And I've got to say, under the heading of Melinda is always right, I felt like Will Champlin sort of won that battle. As amazing and astonishing as Matthew was, and I was astonished by what he was doing vocally, Will's version of When I Was Your Man was like a punch in the gut.
I just want you to know.
And when he got to those little ooh, 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 oohs, wow, that was really good.
I think the reason that he probably edged out Matt in my head just a little bit was because he had dynamics. He went strong and then he just pulled back. And I think thanks to Christina on that one, because she gave him the license to be vulnerable.
You're a rock guy, you like, bring it hard, but take that vulnerable approach.
Because Matt just kind of hit hard and never let up on it, but it was awesome. And the only reason that I didn't throw shoes at both of them is because all of my shoes had been thrown at Caroline.
Unfortunately, all my shoes have mysteriously disappeared. I suspect Nargles are behind it.
Melinda, while we're talking about how Xtina has kind of stepped it up in the mentoring department, like I feel like she's really invested and been doing a really good job this year.
We have to just get you to physically look like you're enjoying the song. Yeah. So you gotta get up, come on.
It leads me to a quick hit on this week's X Factor. First live shows, top 16. If you want to convince us that you are mentoring your contestants, that you haven't handed off the responsibility to a producer, and then you show up for a 5-minute shoot and then leave and go on with your life and collect your $1 million paycheck, right, wouldn't it make sense to learn the names of your contestants, possibly?
Michael, listen. They have 4 names to learn. They only have 4 contestants.
Right.
If Demi starts off saying, she's one of my favorites because of what she brings to the table, this is...
I believe in her so much, her name is Danny Geimer.
Not as bad as Paulina Rubio.
Paulina, who's up first?
Spanish is her first language. I know that she has an accent, but it's not Tim Olson, it's Tim Olstad.
Tim Olson. It's Tim Olson.
Do you know this person? Do you know who any of these 4 people are?
The sensational Josh Levy.
It's Josh Levi. You're being paid probably $1 million at least, right? To sit there, get the names right.
Simon also does not know the names of the girls in his group.
Oh my God.
The song was perfect for you. You understood that the one in the middle has got the killer voice.
The one in the middle. The one in the middle. The one in the middle.
The one in the middle has got the killer voice.
I give Simon a bigger pass because they're groups, so he has more than 4 names to memorize.
How awful for him. How difficult it must be. The one in the middle is the best. The one in the middle.
In comparison to The Voice, the mentors kind of seemed a little more detached.
You've called her the one in the middle, and now you're gonna cut them in favor of those girls in like a neon situation who couldn't even sing I Love It.
I don't care. I love it.
I can sing I Love It.
So many things about the groups were confusing to me. Are you dancing?
You always have to dance when you hear I Love It. I'm just rooting for Lyric 145. That's all I've got to say about that.
Yes, that's who I'm voting for, them and Jeff Goot.
Welcome to the land of the famous sex. Whoa. How we gonna fit in?
I met a guy on the dance floor.
I think I'll just go have some pudding.
I'm Haley Steinfeld, and you're watching ENTV.
Hi, my name is Kieran Shipka, and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV. I just touched it with my mouth, sorry.